Right now, making sense of tariffs, what's behind them, and what's the impact it'll have on your wallet. Plus the do's and don'ts of filing your income taxes, and we'll have some ways to save. And we're just 1 year out from the Winter Olympics in Milan. We're going to take you to northern Italy for a quick preview. This is The Take. Hello and welcome. I'm Chesley McNeil, and this is The Take, where we go above and beyond the headlines to look at why and how stories are impacting you and your community. We're going to have experts on to give us their expertise, their expert take, and we'll try to have a little fun as we go along. But first, we're going to start you off with a weather impact alert. We have one today because of the heavy rain that is in the forecast area. That rain will add up so much that there will be some flooding in the area. We're going to have rounds of heavy rain. This is an all-day event. Light rain out there right now, but it will turn or start to intensify as we head toward the afternoon, and those rounds could lead to flooding in our area, not only our area creeks and rivers and streams, but also on the roadways out there, some of those flood-prone areas that have poor drainage. You're definitely going to be on the lookout. We got a flood watch that will last until Thursday morning. Much of North Georgia is included in this watch, except for our far easternmost counties there. Again, we're talking another 3 to 5+ inches of rainfall, where we've already had some yesterday, got up to about a ½ inch to an inch, so the ground is already saturated, so this is just going to pile up, folks. We'll continue to have updates for you pretty much all morning long. Be sure to stay weather aware by downloading the 11Alive app or just by scanning the QR code that just popped up right there on your screen, and stay right here on 11Alive Plus for constant updates throughout the day. In fact, Nicole Hartford will have an update for us at the top of the hour right here on 11Alive Plus. All right, parts of Georgia still recovering from the devastating impact of 2 powerful storms last year. FEMA says it's still trying to roll out much needed financial help. The agency has handed out more than $640 million to help homeowners, renters, and communities recover from Tropical Storms Debbie and Hurricane Helene. Now, that money is split between individual homeowners, renters, and community public assistance. Last week, FEMA stopped accepting applications for federal help, but says it's still trying to work out processing nearly 400,000 claims. That's a lot. All right, one of the buzzwords so far this year for 2025 has been tariff. I'm sure you know that word by now. The new Trump administration is putting them in place, and President Trump hopes it will boost the U.S. economy. Here to help us make sense of tariffs is Emory business professor Raymond Hill. Professor Hill, welcome to the show.
Hello. Glad to be here.
Glad you're here. Many people have questions about tariffs, but first, tell us what a tariff is.
Well, everybody knows what a sales tax is, and a tariff is just a sales tax, but it's only applied to goods that come from another country.
Okay, so how serious are these moves in putting tariffs in place, and are they really working? Let's put it that way.
Well, they seldom work. The question is whether these are threats that are designed to bring about some change in some other country, or whether they're going to stay in place. But you know, and their seriousness depends on how long they're going to last. But they're certainly going to drive up prices for consumers if they last for any length of time.
So when you talk about it driving up the price for consumers, what is that impact? Could it be major, or does it cap off somewhere, or can they just keep going up?
Well, I mean, it'll be the tariffs they're talking about are 25%, something like that. And the problem is, everybody knows, okay, if I put a 25% tariff on avocados, then avocados are going to be more expensive next Super Bowl. Okay, we know that. What's harder to predict is that we put a tariff on, let's say, imports from Canada, and their automobile industry is highly integrated with ours. So we don't know exactly where that's going to show up in the production, train, and what part of the car or what part of your car is going to be affected, and how much that's going to happen. But steel tariffs, again, same thing. The cost of steel is going to go up, but the cost of everything that's made with steel is going to go up as well. Hard to tell exactly how serious they're going to be.
So is the goal behind putting them in place to produce more things here in the United States instead of getting them from overseas?
Well, see, that's the big myth. You say, why do we have tariff? Well, it's going to create jobs in the U.S. It's not going to create jobs in the U.S. because, first of all, we're at full employment already, all right? So the jobs would have to come from somewhere else. And for every job you create, let's say in the steel industry, then you're going to lose a job in some industry that uses steel. And this is the hardest part for people to get, because it's very visible. Let's say I get some more jobs in the steel industry. Those jobs that you lose, the guy who's making pipe scaffolding, for instance, and hires less people, that's not very visible. And particularly if our trading partners start to retaliate, then almost always you find that the job losses elsewhere in the economy are greater than the job creation in the industry that supposedly benefits.
Gotcha. Last question real quick. What are some of the things that are impacted by a tariff that we're not thinking about?
Well, again, I think that you wake up and you find out, well, this is a steel tariff, and I got some more employment in a steel mill in Indiana, and then you're trying to rebuild your house in Los Angeles, and suddenly all the aluminum and steel that you're going to need to rebuild that building is more expensive or unavailable. That's the part that you're going to get surprised on. Gotcha.
All right, Professor Hill, really appreciate you joining us this morning and educating us about tariffs. Now we know a little bit more. We'll probably have more questions for you, though.
Glad to do it.
Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. All right, have a great day. Today, family and friends will gather to say their final goodbye to Jeremy Labate. The Roswell police officer was shot and killed in the line of duty last Friday. Funeral services will take place at 3 o'clock at the Roswell United Methodist Church. We will be streaming today's funeral service right here on 11Alive Plus, so you can catch all that right here, again, on 11Alive Plus. All right, let's take a look at our 7-day outlook, and it does show that we are looking at an 11Alive weather impact alert for today. 100% chance for that rain, and that rain will be heavy at times, so you have to be on the lookout for flooding, especially if you live near a river, creek, or stream, or you live in one of those areas with poor drainage, those low-lying areas that you know all about. The good news is that the rain will start to end by Thursday morning. Should get some sunshine in here by the afternoon, and so looking good from there. Valentine's Day looks good. You got mostly sunny skies, 58 degrees for the high temperature. Then the rain comes back to us as we head into the upcoming weekend. Could be some strong thunderstorms around as well, especially late Saturday going into Sunday. Of course, we'll keep you updated right here, and then a little bit colder as we start the work week next week. All right, don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back with more show right after this.
Frugal Kitchens is offering our lowest prices of the year, like this amazing kitchen with quartz and 9-foot cabinets installed for $19,995. That is 50% off retail price. Get a working kitchen in just 5 working days. Call now to schedule your free design session today.
Serious truck crash? You'll need serious truck cash. And that won't come easy unless you've got someone on your side who knows how to get it for you. Call the Strong Arm, Attorney John Foy and Associates.
An 18-wheeler's most precious cargo isn't what they're hauling. It's the multi-million-dollar insurance policy that's fiercely protected by the trucking company. Let us handle the fight for you. Our truck accident experts can get you the serious truck cash you deserve.
Call Attorney John Foy and Associates today.
Right now, during the Rooms to Go President's Day mattress sale, get this very special offer. Sleep better and save big when you buy this Beautyrest Select Hybrid or Therapeutic mattress in your choice of sizes for only $5.95. That's 2 great brands, any size, one low price. Choose twin, full, queen, even a king-size mattress, just $5.95. Plus, check out all our other great mattress buys throughout the store during the Rooms to Go President's Day mattress sale, going on now.
It's a party. Matt, the Kia guy from Caladan Kia, and we're celebrating our 4th birthday. We may only be 4 years old, but when we grow up, we want to be the biggest Kia dealer in the world. It's our biggest sale ever. Every car sold comes with a cruise for 2, Tellurides, K5s, Sorrentos, and your favorite new K4s. With our million-mile promise, you'll cruise away knowing your car is covered for 1,000,000 miles. Celebrate our birthday with us and drive away with a cruise for 2. Are you ready? Let's cruise.
Why do so many people trust Frugal Kitchens? Because we offer free design, free delivery, and a working kitchen in just 5 working days. And this week, get this upgraded kitchen installed with granite or quartz for just $19,995.
Welcome back to the show. Today, some federal web pages are back online, including the Center for Disease and Control and Prevention. The sites went down after President Trump's order stated the government documents not recognize gender ideology. The CDC's HIV index and page on LGBTQ youth now has a note that the website is being modified to comply with the executive orders. President Donald Trump and Elon Musk are defending their decisions to dramatically downsize the federal government. They say that the American people elected the president to make changes. With more on that and more, NBC's Washington correspondent Alice Barr, who's been covering politics for years now, joins us. Hello, Alice. How you doing?
Good morning. Doing well. Happy to be with you. Snowy behind me here.
I see that snow. All right, let's get right into it. Talk more about this, the defense that the president and Elon Musk are using.
Yeah, well, this was a really remarkable moment yesterday when Elon Musk joined President Trump in the Oval Office. He had his 4-year-old son with him as well. And essentially, they took questions from reporters and just doubled down on everything that the Department of Government Efficiency, Elon Musk's cost-cutting team, has been doing. And he said that he believes that he's been as transparent as possible, which raises some eyebrows because there's been a lot that's gone on behind the scenes. He's been able to go in and access very secure treasury payment systems, for instance, and sometimes it has been to the surprise of people in those organizations that that's happening. But this was a moment to kind of come out and say, this is what we've been doing, and to at least say that they're, striving for transparency. He defended all the cost-cutting efforts that have been underway and said that the American people voted for major changes and particularly downsizing the federal government, downsizing bureaucracy, and that is what they're doing. Musk also rejected concerns about any conflicts of interest potentially because of his business's large federal contracts, and he said that he expects to be fully scrutinized. President Trump was alongside him and backing him up really at every pass.
Alice, talk to me about the relationship between the two, President Trump and Elon Musk. How did it grow to such a tight connection? And is it safe to say that Musk is probably the most influential person on the administration?
Yeah, I mean, I think President Trump would be quick to say no one steals the spotlight from him, that he is, of course, the most influential person in the administration. But that said, particularly yesterday, there was this moment when President Trump really kind of did cede the spotlight to Elon Musk for about 30 minutes throughout the course of this press conference. And it is an interesting relationship, an incredibly consequential relationship to watch. Over the years in the past, they had pretty sharply disparaged each other, Elon Musk and President Trump. And then just really over roughly the past 6 months, they've gotten to know each other and evidently to trust each other. President Trump said that in a Fox News interview over the weekend, that he trusts Elon Musk. He thinks he has nothing to gain through what he's been doing. And certainly the president has been very adamant about this cost cutting and about reducing the size of government, campaign trail promises. He thinks that Elon Musk, in his private sector tech role and experience he's had doing that with some of his past companies, is somebody that can lead the way and do this in a really different fashion. And, they both have kind of a bombastic style at times, and that appears to have bonded them. There had been some questions about bumps along the road, but at this point, they seem to be pretty in step.
Yeah. What agencies does he have next in his sights, do you think?
Yeah, up next is going to be the Department of Education and the Department of Defense. And, some of what's been up to this point has been maybe a little more at the edges, but these are big departments, education and defense. And education is one that President Trump spoke about on the campaign trail, wanting to potentially abolish. We've heard some rumblings that might even be in the works, and send education decisions back to the states. But that'll be controversial. But even more so, I would say, would be Department of Defense, if there are major cuts in that arena, because that's an area that the president has always leaned into, and certainly that Republicans on Capitol Hill, you have a lot of defense hawks and people who don't want to see cuts to our military. So, the president has said he's going to find waste and fraud there when they go into that department, but it'll be interesting to see how far that goes and what pushback they might receive there.
Alice, thanks so much for your insight. Really appreciate it. We're going to see you here tomorrow. We'll talk more. All right?
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Alice. All right, you have 8 weeks to get your income tax filed, but don't worry. We're here to help you. Joining me now is financial expert Albert Pujols, and my man, always with the pocket square, the tie. He always tries to show me up. Welcome to the show, Alex. Or Andrew, I'm sorry, Andrew.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. You look good, by the way.
Trying to look as good as you.
Hey, I got to step up my game every time you're on the show. Andrew, there seems to be plenty of changes each year when it comes to filing taxes, especially when a new administration comes in. What are the ones that we need to watch out for as far as 2025?
Yeah, we haven't had any changes as far as the new administration yet. That's going to be coming in the coming months as President Trump begins to take on new legislation. However, for the current filing season, some things that people need to be cautious of and aware of are things like the new 1099K reporting threshold, right? So if you're doing any sort of work, selling anything on eBay, PayPal, Venmo, Airbnb, any of those third-party platforms, and you've done over $5,000 or more in sales last year in transactions, expect to get a 1099K, and you got to report that on your tax return because those platforms are reporting into the IRS. If you don't do it, you're going to get a love letter from Uncle Sam probably later on this year. So that's one of the big things that people need to be aware of. That reporting requirement, Chesley, used to be $20,000, and you can see that it's come down substantially from $20,000 to $5,000, and it's slated to come down all the way down to $600 within the next 2 years. So that's a big one that is going to impact a lot of people, and you need to be cautious and aware of and make sure that you don't omit that inadvertently on your tax return, so you don't get a letter from the IRS and have to deal with that sort of stuff afterwards. Another big thing is the standard mileage rate, right? If you're a gig worker, a freelancer, if you're doing anything such as driving Uber, DoorDash, Lyft, have a side gig going on for supplemental income, you get 67 cents per business mile that you drive. So make sure you're tracking your mileage and take that deduction. That could be a big deduction that lowers the amount of tax that you're going to end up paying.
Gotcha.
Another thing that could impact folks this year is unknown out there. If you took a withdrawal from your retirement account last year, the first $1,000, if it's used for emergencies, right? It could be to fix your car, to buy a new refrigerator that broke down, to pay medical bills. That first $1,000 is exempt from the early withdrawal penalty. That saves you a little bit of money right there.
Just the $1,000, right? Just that first $1,000.
Just the first $1,000, correct. So if you took out $3,000, just the first $1,000 is going to be exempt from the early withdrawal penalty. It's still taxable for federal tax, but you're not going to have that early withdrawal penalty.
Is it that 10% that normally gets taxed, or is it a little?
That is correct. It's 10%, right? So you're saving a little bit of money there, and so that's the part of it. You can have withdrawn more, but Uncle Sam's going to allow you only the 10% on the first $1,000.
Gotcha. Andrew, one of the things you always tell us is don't be too rushed to file. Why do you say that?
I say that because a lot of times we see, and in my world, being a practitioner, tax professional, we start on tax returns, and then we have clients who get third-party information reporting that comes in mid to late March, particularly those who have brokerage accounts, meaning those who do stock trading, crypto trading. A lot of those, the Charles Schwab's, the TD Ameritrades, the Bank of America's, for example, they tend to have revisions and adjustments. And those statements, we see them often in the last few years that come out as late as February up into mid-March. So if you prepare your tax return and you have something a little more complicated, meaning something than a very basic tax return, you may just kind of want to be cautious, make sure you also have all your ducks in a row, all your information, you're not missing anything. Rushing to file and just omitting information so you can get a refund because you need the money is only going to lead into complications and problems afterwards.
Last question real quick here. Around this time you get all these commercials about free tax filing. Do these sites work, or is there a one way to save on doing your taxes that you know?
Yeah, listen, if you have a very simple return that's not complicated, maybe 1 or 2 W-2s, and you're below $84,000, you may be eligible to do free e-file. If you go to irs.gov and you take a look there, they'll have information that will guide you through the process.
All right, Andrew, we're looking for you to come back on the show and make us rich.
Absolutely. Anytime, Chesley.
And appreciate the look as well, man. You're looking smooth. All right. Thanks a lot, Andrew. Really appreciate that. Now, if you're planning to file your I-9s and your 1040s, well, the Better Business Bureau reminds you that fraudsters can attempt to steal your money and your identity in various ways. You got to know that. The IRS says it initiated more than 2,500 criminal investigations during the 2022 fiscal year. Out of those, $31 billion was identified as being a result of tax and federal and financial crimes. And the United States Sentencing Commission says out of every 10 sentenced for tax fraud offense, about 7 were men and 3 were women. Folks, you got to understand, you cannot mess with Uncle Sam. You're going to get caught. And when you do, it's going to cost you. Bottom line, you got to know it. Don't go anywhere. We're back right after this.
If you find stuff you don't want backing up in places like this, your main problem is your main drain. And the cure for pain in the main drain is Barty. Call Barty and get things flowing today. 93 gets you back up free.
For comfort and care. Party is there.
It only happens once a year. It's always fun. It's our signature Sign and Drive event. All you got to do is sign and drive with no money down and no payments for 90 days. Plus, at Beaver Toyota, you'll receive exclusive Beaver benefits with your new car. Benefits like no-charge oil changes and car washes. And yes, even complimentary loaner cars and a lifetime powertrain warranty. It's our annual Sign and Drive event. Now, this is the way car buying should be. Only at Beaver Toyota. We're here to wow you.
My family and I wanted a fresh start, but we didn't want the hassle of selling our home. So I went to markspain.com and got a guaranteed offer.
With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can receive an all-cash offer and close in as little as 21 days. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress.
I skipped the cleaning and repairs and sold my home for more than I expected.
The guaranteed offer keeps you in control. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today.
If you've hired a law firm and you don't know what's going on with your case, you might assume nothing is being done. Sadly, you might be right. When a law firm takes on more cases than it can handle, you don't get the service or the results you deserve. At Montlick Injury Attorneys, we give you a skilled attorney who's on top of your case from day one. If you're hurt, call #WIN now from your cell phone to speak with a Montlick Injury Attorney. That's #946. Get more money with Montlick.
Barty Home Services. From drains and fixtures to water heaters, our trusted expert plumbers handle it all. With 35 years of local expertise, dedicated to providing you the best in plumbing services. Barty Plumbing, quality service, every home, every time.
For comfort and care, Party is there.
Oh yeah, can you feel it? We are less than 1 year to go before the opening ceremonies of the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan and Cortina, Italy. And they're celebrating big in the host city. Matt Renew from our sister station in Denver is in Milan right now and joins us live to give us a sneak peek, a sneak preview of what's in store. Matt, how you doing this morning?
Good, Chesley. Beautiful day in Milan, Italy. You know, the weather here has been spectacular since we've been. It feels like springtime more than wintertime because we're talking about a Winter Olympics. And so the events in the city of Milan are going to be spectacular because it's so nice in this Italian city.
And you're looking good, too. You're looking good. You know, the Olympics have 2 host cities. Is there a reason for that? Can one city not host the games?
Yeah, right. I think either one of them probably could have hosted it. In fact, one of them did 70 years ago. The idea between having Milan and Cortina both hosting together, we're told by organizers, is so that they can showcase a little bit of the mountains and the French and Italian Alps and the Dolomites and all that beautiful landscape, as well as that cosmopolitan city feel of Milan. Blend those two things together, even though they're about 250 miles apart. It's about 5 hours of driving between those two cities, and then combine them into one Olympics. The other is more practical. The new model for the Olympics is to not build a lot of new venues, but to use existing venues. And so they found those surrounding sort of the northern area of Milan and then Cortina. And then so they're using all these existing venues to try to save money. They're doing these games for about 3.9 billion, which is on the cheap for an Olympics. And that's the new model for the games and why 2 cities are hosting.
I see. Matt, you've been covering a lot of Olympics. Have you ever seen it like this before? Will it be tough for you to get around to cover these games?
You know, this is going to be pretty typical, at least in the city of Milan, of what we've seen for the Olympics. Paris was interesting because they had so many venues all throughout their city. What makes this one a little more unique are the venues will be throughout northern Italy instead of just a city. So getting around Milan won't necessarily be difficult. What's going to be tough for people is making it maybe to multiple venue sites. Milan, Cortina, Bergamo. It's going to be a difficult, it's just so much travel time. That's where the challenge will be for people. Hopefully the schedule shows that these events are pretty spread out from day to day, and so if you wanted to try to go to those, that will be the challenge.
Yeah. Now, Matt, there's been talk about the use of the bobsled luge, and the skeleton might not be finished in time for the games. Do you have an update on it?
Right, that has been a big topic. And again, we just spoke with organizers just a short time ago, and they're saying that they're still going to have that bobsled track finished. The original plan was to build something new. They decided they weren't going to be able to do that, so maybe they would go out of country. They didn't want to do that. So now the plan is to refurbish this track that they had from the 1956 Olympics in Cortina, and that's about $130 million worth of work. and they've got to get it done now pretty quickly because the timetable is pretty short, not just for the opening ceremony, which is less than a year away, but also they got to test that track. Other nations have to come in and practice on the ice. They are confident they're going to have it done. The backup is to send it to Lake Placid in the United States. That's something they don't want to do, so you know the Italians are going to be working hard and fast to try to get that track finished in time.
Absolutely. Matt, what is your favorite Winter Olympic game?
You know, I got to tell you, most of the time for me, it's eating. That's my favorite Olympic sport. Outside of that, I love skier and border cross. That's where you've got 4 skiers or 4 snowboarders racing down a hill at the same time. They're hitting each other with elbows, trying to knock each other off the track. It's really physical. It's not a very big sport as far as audiences, but I love it.
Hockey on skis. I like it. I like it. Matt, thanks so much for joining us way overseas, getting ready for the Winter Olympics. Appreciate you joining us. Got to figure out a way to get that scarf. Yep, we're back with something to think about and your moment of Zen. Don't go anywhere. We're back right after this.
My name is Tim Leith. I was sitting at a red light. Out of nowhere, I just got rear-ended. I reached out to Morgan & Morgan directly from the scene. It was incredibly simple to get the process started. I never actually had to physically set foot into Morgan & Morgan. You can literally do everything from your cell phone. I was able to get emails, text messages. Morgan & Morgan got my initial offer 10x'd. And I never even got a check. I just got a direct deposit into my bank account. It's so easy.
Kick off the new year in a new Subaru. You'll find yours at Troncalli Subaru on Highway 9 in Cumming. Take home a new Subaru Outback and take advantage of 2.9% financing for 72 months. And we'll maintain the love with complimentary maintenance included. Shop us online for more great offers and kick off the new year in a new Subaru. Troncalli Subaru, where customers send their friends. On Highway 9 in Cumming and online at troncallisubaru.com.
At Pinnacle Home Improvements, your project begins with me.
With me.
With me.
With me. With me.
At Pinnacle Home Improvements, your exterior home remodeling project begins with each of our team of experts. That teamwork dynamic is how we provide exceptional service to every customer. Whether it's your home windows, roofing, or siding project,
your project begins with me. With me. With me.
Your total satisfaction is our mission at Pinnacle Home Improvements, where your project begins
with me.
With me.
At Interactive College of Technology, you get more than a career-focused education. You'll get admissions help and financial planning support from day one. Teachers that care about you. You get academic advisors. And there's career assistance coordinators that help you find interviews when you graduate or anytime after. At ICT, we will stand by you to help you get the future you want. So, visit ict.edu to set up a free tour today.
Welcome back to the show. The pressure is on. We're only a couple days away from the big love day, Valentine's Day, and many of you are searching for that perfect gift, aren't you? Yep. Well, new numbers show the average person will spend about $189. The most popular gifts usually are candy, flowers, cards, and of course, an evening out. One item that might cost you a little bit more this year is that chocolate. Yeah, the price of chocolate treats may leave a bitter taste in your mouth. One expert says you can expect to see chocolate prices jump from 10 to 20% over last year. The price of cocoa has doubled since the beginning of 2024 and hit a record high in December. All right, before we go, here's something for you to think about. The nominees are out for this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, and the South has got something to say. 2 of the 14 nominees are from Atlanta, rock and roll band, the Black Crowes, and hip-hop icons Outkast, both nominated for the first time. This year's inductees will be revealed in April, so we have to wait for that. But, I mean, the Crowes have been around since the 60s. Outkast is just super icons. They're going to get in. Got to let them in. There's more following them from Atlanta. Got to let them in at least first, right? Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us, folks. As we say goodbye, we want to give you that moment of Zen, especially on a rainy, gloomy Wednesday like this. We'll be back with you tomorrow for another episode of The Take. Take care.